Welcome to Flick Flops, the podcast where we review critically bad movies so you don't have to. Today, we're taking a deep dive into one of the most notorious flops of the early 2000s, Catwoman, starring Halle Berry as the titular character. This movie was panned by critics and audiences alike for its confusing plot, yes, cringe-worthy dialogue, oh my god, yes, and questionable special effects, yes. But is it really as bad as everyone says? Stick around and find out as we break down Catwoman. What do you think, Gary?
Oh my gosh, dude. Well, let's start with details first, and I think you might have those pulled up. So go ahead.
This movie angered me, by the way.
Yeah, well, we'll get into
Okay,
all that.
so this is a movie was made in 2000. If I can pull my notes up, I can't read them without my 2004. It stars Halle Berry, Benjamin Bratt, and Sharon Stone. And I use the word stars loosely. It comes in at about 104 minutes, according to my HBO Max, where I watched it. And I'll be honest, not to spoil anything, but at the 50-minute mark, I was ready to turn my TV off and go to bed. It took me that long to get to where I was like, I can't keep watching this movie, but yet I have to because it's what we do.
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes, the critics have it at 8%. That's generous. Audience has it at 18. I don't know. Maybe people were high when they watched this movie, so 18 may be a reasonable number if you're stoned or blind. I don't know. That's what I got for that. Box office numbers. Gary, do you have those numbers?
So I've got the 2004 film Catwoman. I love the quotations, by the way.
I know. Do we need that?
It had an estimated production budget, easy for me to say, of around $100 million. I can't speak because I'm still amazed at how much money was put into this movie.
Truly, and we'll address this. I have some questions. Maybe you can help with the answers, but
so
go ahead.
It says however, the movie was a commercial failure and grossed approximately $82 million global box office. Global. So and that's Warner Brothers Studio, by the way. I think you mentioned it already.
I did not, but yes, you're right.
Yeah. So I don't know, and if on screen you can't see the Batman in the background. Being a Batman fan, I have a few things to say about the movie in that regard.
God.
But I do want to say I did pull up some reviews. I thought we could throw just a couple quick reviews in here before we actually give you our opinion.
Let me also throw, just so you know, the budget breakdown is domestically, it only made $40 million. International made 41.8. So, that's how you get your 82. It's 40.2 and 41.8.
I gotta figure a lot of the viewership at all was because of the Halle Berry outfit. I mean, I really think that's probably the draw.
Sure. I mean, and I would agree. She looked smoking hot. But as I said to my other half as she walked in and wondered why I was still watching the movie, and then Halle Berry walks by in her uniform, she's like, "Oh, I see." And I was like, I said, "Well, here's the thing. If you want to see, you can see Halle Berry naked in Monsters Ball." So,
yeah,
that's not enough to hold me into this film.
Anyway. So Nathan Rabin of the AV Club. Catwoman is so incoherent and mind-numbingly dumb that it's practically a masterpiece.
Mind-numbingly dumb. That's brilliant.
Yeah, I don't know how you say it. You go beyond that. Ed Gonzalez of Slant Magazine. It's hard to tell what's worse about Catwoman: the terrible dialogue, the non-existent plot, or the amateurish visual effects. Which I had to say, probably at that time period, that's probably where a lot of that money went into.
So that's what I was going to ask you about the special effects, because I don't know in 2004 where were we, because they're distractingly bad to me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Going back, it's really hard.
And even like Teresa, who walked by and she was like, "Is that supposed to be a real?" And I'm like, "No. I mean, it's supposed to, but she's like, it looks horrible." And she's not a movie buff, and she wasn't even watching the movie. She was walking through the room. She's like, "That looks bad."
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, this is a professional movie. This wasn't made by a bunch of guys in their backyard." Anyway, continue.
Well, so let's get to the Batman thing for just a second, because I just want to mention that being a Batman fan, you've got the TV series from the 60s or whatever, and obvious camp.
Right.
I still loved it as a kid, but I didn't know any better that there was something better than that.
And we understood it at the time.
Yeah,
There was a contract between us. We knew what it was,
right.
and we were
Um,
okay with it.
and I loved, of course, Tim Burton when his movie came out. Love that
Yeah,
at the time. Another time period where I didn't know what I was missing until the Christopher Nolan period. You look back at the Tim Burton, and now you realize that had a lot of camp to it also. But at the
right,
time, you didn't really recognize it as camp.
right.
So you're getting, what was that, 1989,
Yeah,
90,
something like that.
maybe somewhere around there for the Tim Burton. And so then you move ahead and you look back on that and you do realize that there was a lot of camp to that.
Yeah,
And you really realize it with like Batman and Robin and the later movies that
I'm
were,
sure we'll get to those later.
yeah, that they've got to land on here at some point. So then you've reached into crap territory. It's beyond camp. It's just not even fun any. And then you've got this movie where you think we've got to a point now with many years in between that you're going to get this Catwoman, and it's got to be better than that, right? Maybe because I don't know the time period of like Batman and Robin.
Yeah. Oh boy.
This did not start off. My very first note is this did not feel like a comic book movie at all to me
No.
when it started off.
There was no Batman reference, so just know that going in. There's no tie to the world of Batman, and I was okay with that. I don't need that. I was a little confused by. I didn't quite understand why this film needed to be made at the time.
Well, it's definitely
But,
not Gotham. That's clear.
well, yeah, I mean,
I mean, if it is, you can't tell because everything is like dancing through the streets and like everything's happy feeling like
it's so
it's weird.
generic. Yeah. God. I mean, I'm getting angry again about this movie. Just sitting here.
I can't actually read my note.
So let me tell you. So a couple things, and you can cue in on them. I wrote down. I mean, the CGI in this is rough. It looks very. And again, I don't know the time frame of when CGI and special effects got considerably better, but these were rough to watch. My first note where I got a little bumped in the movie is there's a big scene in it, Gary, if you remember, where she gets washed out
Oh,
of the drain pipe thing.
right.
All right, spoiler in case you got that far into the movie. And these are little things, and it's not enough to sit there and argue over, but these are little things that I just notice. And it's like, how did she end up on the island of cats when she was just sinking to the bottom of the water?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, because it's not like it's not like Castaway and you're in the ocean and the waves are keep washing you and crashing you up. The scene that they showed prior was her sinking down into this body of water,
Yeah.
and then cut to she's washed up in the middle of an island
Right.
of wherever this mystical city is. And I was like, I don't the continuity doesn't make sense here. I'm like, and then I don't expect this to be Citizen Kane, but Jesus Christ, like I'll suspend reality, but you have to give me something that leads me there. You have to little breadcrumbs, and then I don't know if you want to comment on that, or I can keep going on my notes, and we can just chime in when you feel the need to chime in.
Well, yeah, I wanted to address the
Because maybe you saw it better than me. Maybe your eyes were clearer than mine.
no, I was super confused by that too. But what I wanted to look up was, and that's kind of what I was letting you run with it for a second.
Yeah.
What other movies from 2004
Oh, yeah.
known for CGI? Like movies that had CGI in it, something we could compare to, and without actually having footage to compare, it's going to be hard. But
Yeah.
I can at least give you a few examples of 2004 films.
Perfect.
Spider-Man 2,
Okay.
Sam Raimi. That one had Dr. Octopus in it, you remember?
Mm.
With the actor's name escapes me at the moment. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban,
Oh, yeah.
2004. The Day After Tomorrow, Roland Emmerich disaster movie. I remember the effects in that were pretty amazing.
Well, Harry Potter was fantastic.
Yeah. They've got Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow, which I never watched, but I do realize that it had a lot of. I mean, I think the whole thing was CGI in that movie. But
Okay.
then iRobot also.
Yeah.
So there's some examples of the movies that came out the same year that
So clearly, the effects were okay
this
at
might
that time in life.
this might have been a B studio.
D,
All right,
C,
all
D,
right.
D.
Is there an F?
Yeah.
Is there an F?
We'll
They
have to.
maybe they knew. Maybe they took the script and they were like, "Yeah, let's just send this over to this group to do the CGI because we already know this could be a turd."
Yeah, I gotta want my name on this. I don't have an Alan Smithy effects company.
Yeah, yeah, really. Does it feel
Um,
like I shrunk in my camera a little bit? I feel like I was higher before.
you're getting smaller, man.
Okay, sorry. Um, yeah, so I was kind of curious that too. Like, what can we compare those effects to at the time period? Was it just that it was a time period was so bad? Because I do know some movies you go back and try to watch, and you're like,
Sure.
I can't get through the effects part.
Right. Not knowing what we have now. Sure.
Yeah, pretty bad. They were pretty bad.
Yeah.
I don't have a note on that, but I do have. Oh, I know what it was. I can't. This is so funny. I can't actually read my own writing, but I remember it. So a lot of the thing that was bad about this was the writing.
Yes.
First of all, can we talk about the fact that it wasn't Selena Kyle? So it's almost like they
Okay.
completely they
Thank you.
completely are devoid of any
Yeah.
Batman at
And
all.
why? Like,
And
did they not have permission from DC? Because
it's Warner Brothers, right? Isn't that the same
well,
studio?
that it opens in the credits. It's like characters created by Bob Kane.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Um, so yeah, why is
shit.
that's one note. It's like, why is her name not Selena Kyle? I don't understand that. And I'm sure there's behind the scenes stuff that we're missing. We're just two dudes that are watching bad movies. There's probably a lot
Barely. Yeah.
of, yeah. And at the time, I'm sure there was a lot of talk about all this. Looking at it back, I don't
Uh,
remember because I just remember avoiding it.
if we were better podcasters, we would have gone and done all that research. But I can't devote much more time of my life to Catwoman.
The hour
I'm
and
unwilling to.
what was it? 104 minutes, you said?
104 minutes
That
according to
was,
mine,
I think I devoted about 109 minutes then to this movie.
and it's too much.
Yeah.
It's honestly too
Yeah.
much.
And
Um,
don't watch it is what we're saying unless you
I,
like.
I
It's actually so bad that you can't even watch it and have fun with it.
no. Listen, I pulled up a critic. What you were doing that this one made me laugh out loud. This guy's name is Brian Gill. He does a podcast, Mad About Movies, and his review, short review, is I loved basketball more than anything in the world until I watched the basketball scene in Catwoman. Now I hate basketball.
Okay, so I do have
I loved movies until I watched this movie.
I have a note about that. And you know what? I again probably should have done more research, but I didn't want to dive any more into this world than
I
I had
can't.
to. I don't did you look up the director? Do we have information on
I did. So hold on. Let me find where my screen is. I have a couple of them on here. Shit, now I've lost it. Um,
we'll definitely bring up a couple scenes from this movie too, by the
so
way. And
know this much: the director's name is Pitoff. He only used one name for this film. He doesn't even want to be known by his full name on this film.
I'd be
I
pissed off
looked.
too if I made this movie.
Pitoff, man.
I'm seriously pissed off, man.
I'm looking for
The budget's
his
great,
other works.
but the dialogue really pissed me off.
It bit me off. I told you earlier when we were doing some pre-production stuff. I mean, and I loosely used the term pre-production.
Yeah,
I wanted to look up other things he'd done to make sure I never watched them.
is it
And
possible?
luckily, a lot of the stuff he did is
Tell me.
foreign.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, tell me it's a bunch of music videos because that was gonna be my comment. I felt like
Yeah.
this movie was.
He appears to be, I believe he's French. So a lot of the stuff he does is, Paris, France. His real name is Jean Christophe Comar. And I would go by Pitoff too. I would have used Alan Smithy if it was me. This thing is a fucking
I would have wiped the internet of the ability to find out who Pitoff was if I was
absolutely.
Pitoff.
I mean, it's
I felt like this movie had so you've got a terrible dialogue.
yes,
So you've got these scenes
Terrible effects.
Terrible effects. You've got these scenes of terrible like interactions between people with them talking. Oh, my Remarkable is going to sleep. Come back up. And I just lost my notes. You son of a gun. And then you've got in between all those what I felt like were music videos. Basketball scene being one of them. I was like,
Yeah.
they've got this. Everything was like this. Kind of not
It's just
rap, but kind of that kind of sort of in that vein of like
excuse me.
that kind of music, and it just seemed like I don't know, a music video. I mean, but not a good one.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it cuts. The cuts are clunky. God, I mean, it's hard to even speak about this film. It really bothers me, this film. And I mean, I wrote notes, and I mean, it was just scenes. These things bothered me down throughout the whole line of it. And I mean, another one that I didn't like is, so after she's survives the magical island of cats,
Oh wait,
she suddenly
go ahead. I was gonna say go ahead, but before you get to that point,
yeah,
because if we're gonna kind of push through this, I did 2 notes about earlier in the movie because I was
Yeah.
already put off, and then we'll get to because I want to show my scene, and then
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
talk
go
about
ahead.
the after because this actually takes place before she becomes
Yeah.
Catwoman.
Catwoman.
So graphic designer, she's a graphic designer in the movie. So
Which, yeah,
so I'm like,
she's not in anything else in the history of Catwoman.
right. To give you an example of some of the stupid
And
stuff that happens,
a frumpy one too, by the way.
she is brought to the big boss's office to show her artwork.
Oh, Jesus.
And the premise behind this whole thing, the whole reason that she ends up coming in late to the whole setup to this, it's so dumb, it's not even hard to talk about, is because he wanted a darker red. And why didn't she read his mind? And I'm telling you, from living in the world of graphics, like there are some really stupid things that you get from clients from time to time.
You live this world, like,
but
what Pantone color
but
is it?
but this is nothing like that. This is so unbelievably ridiculous that, to get chewed out because you didn't reach into somebody's head and give them the correct color of red. It was,
And she says, I used the color you told me to
it's
use.
so shockingly dumb. But so
Slay it.
So I'm going to. So I just want to set the scene up because
Hang on, let me make sure. Yeah, these seem sharp enough to jam into my eyes
make
again.
sure you open it up so you can get both at the same time. So she has to go back to the office before midnight because he's put a deadline on it that I must have this in my hand by midnight.
Yeah, midnight, the perfect time to deliver stuff to my office.
Dumbest thing ever. And she can't get in because I guess she doesn't have a key card to her own office. I don't understand how that works either.
Well, here's the thing. Hold on. So that seemed like she had to go to a different office.
Maybe that's
because remember she asked for a courier.
Oh yeah. Good. Good.
She had to get out to the island.
Yeah, you're right.
With the 400-foot cliff at the end of it.
Maybe it was because this was at the lab or whatever. Because there's the lab in the basement or whatever. She goes to the basement.
It doesn't make sense because his office was upstairs when she got her ass chewed out.
Yeah, I don't understand any of that.
And how would she know he'd be at the lab? He didn't say bring it to the lab. He said, I need it by midnight.
Well, she goes. She can't even get in the building, so she goes around the back and finds an open area and goes through
building
because nothing makes sense in this world. And my favorite part is she overhears a conversation that she shouldn't hear, and she makes a noise because cliche. Everything's cliche.
Yeah.
So, I'm hearing something I shouldn't. Now I need to bump something and knock it on the floor and run away because that's how we're. And I just want to play the scene first before I talk about it.
Go.
All right, let's see if I'll bring this up here. So.
Oh, Jesus.
You can come out now. It's okay.
They spot her.
We'd just like to ask you a few questions, all right?
Okay.
Sorry, but I think maybe I'm in the wrong.
Okay, good enough. That was I just wanted to show you that her shadow is appearing on the boxes so they see her. Why her
That's what I wanted to say to you.
why her back is against something where there's no light source behind her. It's that's early in the movie. That is 19 minutes into the movie. Once you get past the 5 minutes of intro about all the Egyptian cat stuff.
Yeah, geez.
In the intro.
Yeah, I wanted to point that out too. It was like,
Um,
how is her shadow being
The
cast
shadow made no sense.
inside a dark warehouse?
Right. And that's so I wanted to get to that before we get to her spilling out on the island. And then now that she's got
Right.
her stuff, go.
Okay, so after that, she spills out of this. She falls off this monster cliff, which doesn't make sense in the middle of this Gotham City-esque city. Washes up on the island of cats, and then so when she wakes up from the death, she comes back to life as Catwoman, I guess. She's heading back to her apartment. Gary, stay if you can picture this. She's heading back to her apartment. I emphasize the words "her apartment," as she's sneaking around the city, walking and acting like a cat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
Judge, remember, I'm not really a cat. And she's breaking into her own apartment. She's breaking into her apartment.
Yes. Yes.
Breaks the glass. You don't have a key to your apartment?
It's so funny that I didn't even catch that because
And
I was
so if you say, okay, so maybe she lost the keys in her death-defying fall. Or no, her fall that actually kills her, apparently, because that's the day she died and became alive.
right.
If you did lose said keys along with your purse, understood. They never show her looking for her keys going, oh, shit, I guess I'll have to break in.
Yeah.
It's just she's slinking around, moving like a cat.
Yeah.
And then she kicks the glass in. Never check the window. Never go, oh, shit, I got a key right here. I'll just go up the steps and walk into my own apartment.
There's nothing good about this movie.
I mean, I was so mad at that point of the movie. And what would we, 20 minutes in?
roughly.
Like, this doesn't make sense. It's your apartment.
No,
you
none of
dumb-
it. Yeah, none of it makes sense.
Okay, let me just mark that off my notes. I couldn't get it.
Let's see. The casting
Oh,
the
I got
shadow
more.
thing. You know what? And then I have the ridiculous prancing around after her rebirth.
Yeah.
Which is what you're talking about. There's a scene where she's meeting somebody in a restaurant, or she's at a restaurant, and there's the fish tank, and she's
God.
she's she's in so the whole time it is
like maybe dude, hold on. So in that same vein, like this scene actually made me get up and walk away. I had to pause the movie and walk away. The catnip scene.
Oh yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I know, dude. Oh, I know. It's so bad.
Jesus Christ! Here's where I go with this, Gary. We've had these conversations for 40 years. We've been friends. These movies, first, they're written. There's a process. They get written. Someone reads the script. It has to get approved. You have to send it out to actors and actresses. They have to read the script. And
Well, don't forget that the scripts get rewritten and polished.
So this was rewritten. How bad was the original?
I would love to see the first draft.
It gets to a...
This is not dumb enough. Bring it back.
Yeah, hold on. Whoa, this is way too intellectual. You got to hit the people over the head with it. Get the catnip. This has to get past producers, studio heads. This has to be greenlit by somebody. It has to go, this is it. This is our next big blockbuster. How? How is this done? Like, I get so mad because I know they have to make movies that's their business.
Yeah.
Do they not ever look at a best sellers list in the New York Times? There's plenty of well-written stories. Just pick one.
I think the draft of this whole setup wasn't there some sort of controversy about, or not controversy, but like some deal with Halle Berry becoming Catwoman, like that there was a big bid to become the next Catwoman, and she was. I don't remember all that. And again, we probably should have done homework, but
yeah, but I don't care enough about this.
Me neither. But I feel like the whole setup was.
Well,
Halle
are you
Berry,
confusing the
Slink-
Sean, what's her face, and when she was trying to get the job, but it went to Michelle Pfeiffer?
maybe I
Because
could
that
be.
was a big stink. She came to the studio dressed in costume, and they're like, "You're off. You need to get meds."
Yeah, maybe I could be that. But I was
Okay.
just thinking in trying to recall all that I was thinking. So the pitch would be, let's do a Catwoman movie, just Catwoman, and it's Halle Berry in a slinky outfit. And I think
I love it.
that's where thought ended. I think everything beyond that, I don't know how some of these people agreed to be in this movie and say the words that were written for this. I don't know how she
Listen,
agreed to do it and
okay,
act
know
that
this.
stupid.
I'm going to read you something here. This is something I read this that blew my mind. Hang on, let me find this
I
little
did
thing
write
I saved.
catnip with exclamation point next to it, by the way.
Okay, yeah. So let me read this to you. This is something that's on. I found this on IMDb's webpage about the movie trivia. It says trivia. It's just a factoid. Halle Berry became one of only 6 actors in history, only 5 at the time, to possess both an Oscar and a Razzie. After her win for her infamous performance in this movie, she also became the first to accept her Razzie in person, walking out on the stage proudly holding an Oscar, and her Razzie. All right, aloft. She gave a short acceptance speech. This is it. Quote, "I'd like to thank Warner Brothers for making me do this god-awful piece of shit." You're an Oscar-winning actress. At this point, you can command probably $10 to $20 million a movie, and you say, "I'm going to read the script. Oh, yeah, this one seems good."
How much did she get paid for it? Any idea? Does it even say? Do we
I'll look
even
that up. I
know?
mean, the other one, what was the other movie she did?
Because that could have been just a money grab, which would actually make a little bit more sense. Although
what was
to
the movie she did where she played like a spy, like called Bluefish or Dolphin or something?
with John
Swordfish.
Travolta, yeah,
Swordfish.
yeah.
I mean, you did Swordfish. Fuck, I don't know, Gary. I need to wear like a blood pressure monitor when we do this. It just sets me off. And I mean, I got no skin in the game, but God, this movie was so fucking bad. And I don't understand how you. Again, you have to read the script.
You're just this mad because you had to watch the whole thing.
Yeah,
and it's been at least a week for me. So I've
look,
come back down a little bit since then.
I just watched it last night, and I was eating La Rosa's pizza. I was on cloud 9.
Yeah,
this almost made me not enjoy my pizza, but I did. So hold on, let me get back to my notes. Jesus Christ, got that.
Dude, I put dialogue as shit.
Oh,
which I think
all the cans of tuna.
Oh yeah.
You're just suddenly a cat,
dude. I think the
sushi scene where she's shoveling all the fish in her mouth.
The worst part is that they somehow said, and I don't know how this part came up. They somehow said she was reborn from the cat, the breathing into her, whatever. And so now she has to act like a cat. It's the dumbest thing.
But it's only selective.
Yeah.
She's.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's what I said to Teresa. All right, so understand this. And I said, look, I know you don't live in the world of comic books. I get it. But hear me out. Batman does not act like a bat.
Right.
Right. He chose the bat because it instills fear into people. He doesn't walk around. Flap, 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 flap.
Right.
He doesn't do that. He doesn't hang upside down when he sleeps. There's no point to.
Actually, I think he does in one of the movies. He has a.
Was those gravity boots on?
Yeah.
But I mean, the point is, like this. And I didn't read any Catwoman comics. Maybe we should go back and read some of the books. Maybe that's what she does. But it's like it doesn't.
Maybe that's why it's Selena Kyle, because they don't want to associate the much better Catwoman with the.
I mean, think of the Michelle Pfeiffer when she was Catwoman in the Batman movie. She didn't act like she didn't sneak around. Ooh, I'm a kitty cat. Meow, meow.
Not like this. This is comically bad. Although don't read into that thinking that it's entertaining to watch, because it's really not. It's actually really infuriating to watch her act like that.
Look, if you watch this movie and you're not as irritated as if you watch it, which please don't, do not. Fuck, go watch Love Guru over this.
Yeah.
Then the whole thing, her going over to the party, right? Remember the loud party across the alleyway?
Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah.
All right. So the first time she's like, you think you turn down a little bit? And they don't do it. Okay. So then she goes over, now that she's Catwoman, now that she's this mysterious, badass crime fighter, and she goes over to the party. She kicks the door in. Okay. She's not scary at all. She just isn't. She's not even in her costume. She just kicks it in. And then the tough guy, the biker guy who's running the party, he's just so intimidated by this 115-pound woman. Oh, okay, my bad. Oh, I'll turn it down. Oh, no.
What'd she do?
I wouldn't do that. And I'm fat. I'm just a fat guy on a Kiss T-shirt in his basement.
What'd she do with the take out the speakers?
Oh, she used the damn spray thing, like a soda.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. Dumb.
He's like, hey, man. Like, yeah, you would have punched her in the face. Like, get off my shit.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. You know what? Somehow I wiped that scene from my memory. I didn't even write a note.
He just cowers because she kicked his door. Unfortunately, she wouldn't have kicked the door in. I mean, when have cats been known for their superior strength? Ever?
I don't know.
You've owned cats, Gary. I mean,
I have 3.
Are they just?
They don't do that. They're not scary at all.
Yeah, I'm just saying. That'd be different if she said she was Bengal Tiger Woman. Okay.
Yeah.
They're kind of scary. A kitty cat named Midnight? Well, come on.
How about the twist on the cat lady that lives in the middle of the city?
In the house, of course, surrounded by skyscrapers. Yeah, I know. I can't. I mean, I didn't even make a note about that. I can't fill 2 pages of shit.
I just can't. Yeah, that was pretty bad.
I mean, this movie was so bad, it made me want to not like movies anymore. At 50 minutes in, I was like, I don't know if I can watch movies anymore. This movie is tainting me.
How did you sit through it in one viewing?
No.
Yeah,
no.
me neither. I
So
need to watch something better to kind of.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the you take a bite of something that tastes terrible, so you got to eat something good to try to wash
Cleanse
that.
your palate.
Yeah, try to wash away the crap.
So I was like, I won't blame the movie for me not being able to finish it in one sitting. I will give it that. I was very tired, and I was watching this at like 11:30 at night. I was finishing, and I still had 20 minutes left. And I looked at Teresa, and I was like, I don't have 20 minutes left in me. I got to go to bed because I'd been up since 2 a.m. the day before. So I was like, I'm going to bed. I got up this morning at about 6:30. Boom, picked up right where I left off, and I mean, it was all I could do. I wanted to message you at like 6:30 and go, Gary, I don't think I can finish this. Let's just record without it.
Yeah,
I don't care. I don't care how it ends.
Are we ever going to get to a point where we try to watch a movie that we're just like, nah, man? I stopped at 34 minutes and I had to just, because it is torture at some point. But you know what? That's the whole point of this. Is we're trying to torture ourselves to let other people, know to avoid. Like if there's anything good in any of these, we will tell you. This one, there is nothing good in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, our hope with our production show here, our podcast, is that before you watch a bad movie, check with us.
Yeah, see if we've talked about it. And
we'll tell you if it's worth watching.
Or, you know what? Or let us know, and we'll watch it first, and then tell you if we haven't already reviewed it.
Yeah, like I said, the only thing that makes this worth watching is Halle Berry in her sexy outfit. But again, just watch Monsters Ball and you'll see her naked. Who cares?
Yeah, that's not for me. It was not a draw.
It was.
That was not the draw.
She's a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
This just was. It wasn't enough to save it.
No.
So let's see. What else do I have? One other thing that I thought was very odd, and this is not a knock on this person as an actress. I love this person as an actress, especially in the TV series The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Oh yeah, yeah.
However,
yeah,
Alex Bornstein is nor hot or sexy.
Right.
I felt were trying to make us think that she was this hot vamp.
You can't make it happen, guys. Nice try.
And I'm looking at her going, all right, take out the fact that she plays the character in Mrs. Maisel.
Yeah.
To erase that. I'm looking at her going, nah, I don't see it.
No.
And then at the very end where like she's at the sexy doctor's apartment and he's just like feeding her like grapes or something, like,
right.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't do that.
Well, in this world, he would.
I promise you, that's not the girl he's going. Ooh, that's what I want. I want that waking up next to me.
No. In this world, he would because everything is so upside down.
Yeah, maybe this is the bizarro world. You know, Solomon Grundy is the mayor.
I have queued up a moment that you wanted me to bring up.
That's my last note. Please play. This is a prime example of the horrible dialogue. And as Gary pointed out, which I didn't notice this, I was so wrapped up in the dialogue, the lack of physics in this world.
Yeah. Well, and that's part of the bad CGI too, I believe, in this moment.
Because I can't explain what you asked me.
Yeah, let's bring this up here.
Pay attention to the good dialogue that's happening.
Yeah. Oh, oh, that's not good.
You look like a cop killer. You wanted to save him, honey. You couldn't save yourself.
Wait for it.
Oh no. What are you gonna do now?
Wait. Let me pull something out of the cliche handbook.
Game over. Guess what? It's overtime.
Oh yeah. Ooh, there's physics for you. That was possible. Did she jump around real quick? Can we show part of that? Some sort of fetish thing going on. Oh my. Okay, alright. Well, that'll be enough of that. That's bad enough. I don't know how much we can show of these, so I'd cut that. But
no, it just
look, we come back from it and you're just sad.
Is there a union that's out in Hollywood, the Cliche Guild of America? Because
this whole movie is filled with it. I mean, it's not. What's funny is all the cliches that are in a movie aren't cliches because they became cliches from something here or after. They're cliches prior to it. So it's almost like they were, how many can we fit in to this movie? Because it feels like it's filled with it.
I swear to you, Gary, we should make a challenge out there to ourselves and anybody that's actually watching and paying attention to our podcast. I challenge any of you to write a better screenplay than Catwoman. I'm pretty positive you could do it. Gary, use the what's the AI
chat
GPT,
yeah. Ask it to write a better
screenplay than
I don't know how much you can get out of that. I don't know if it'll do a whole screenplay, but I bet it'll do a scene. You can write a better scene.
God, I mean, it makes me want to just open up my laptop and get out my Final Draft software and be like, Gary, I want to write a better script, and I'm sure I could do it on my lunch break. You know,
and that's what's dangerous about these kind of movies, is it makes everybody think they could. Not you, but I'm just saying, it makes anybody think they can be a writer because they're like, look, somebody greenlit this piece of crap.
Truly,
and that's why we get more of them.
And look, I'll be honest with you, and we can wrap this thing up. I don't have much more unless you have something else to add to it.
I don't.
Yeah, I am not trying to shit on people's careers, but my lord, this is like the Walmart sweatpants version of a movie. It's just unnecessary, and it's only there because people demand shit, and they got it. It's like, expect more from your movies, people.
This is a generic adult diaper version.
Yeah. And as a writer, like you put your name on that and you're proud. You're like, yeah, I wrote Catwoman. Okay. You still have a job?
Yeah.
Or are you driving a forklift now? Because it's horrible.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Awful.
Anyway,
I don't
speaking as a forklift driver.
Hey man, I could just tell you that speaking from a graphic designer, that is not the way things go for us graphic designers either.
You don't have someone just call you in and cuss you out?
Although,
because you chose the wrong red.
There is the make the logo bigger crowd that does happen.
I mean, it's not like somebody texts you on your day off and late at night and says, hey, can you do a banner for me?
I know.
Oh, wait.
I need it by midnight.
Real quick, can you do this?
Yeah. Hey, I know you're probably relaxing and you haven't been on your computer now for a couple hours.
I know you do this all day. Hey, could you do this for me real quick? On spec?
Let's get... You know what? Okay. Okay. Now I'm going off on a tangent, but the tape heads. Was that
the greatest movie out there?
Was that critically bad?
I don't know. We're gonna do tape heads
because we need to do that. That's by
right.
far a more enjoyable
And
film.
to add to like what we're doing here, we our goal is to find good bad movies, not just the worst. Like watching shitty movies is hard.
Yeah.
There are bad movies out there that I know. I mean, I love. People think they're crap. They were critically panned. I mean, we've talked.
Yeah.
I love Eddie and the Cruisers. It was probably still is. I mean, Ellen Barkin was in that movie, and she doesn't even claim that she was in that movie. That's how much she didn't like that movie. But I love it. I watch it every time it's on. Or The Warriors, which there's nothing great about that movie, but I watch it. I love it. And of course, the aforementioned Tapeheads, which Gary and I have a deep love for.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And if you haven't seen Tapeheads, that was you should. It's a great movie. We'll mention that one more than once in our careers here.
Yeah, I would love to see more movies like that pop up on a list where it's like, wow, that's not much of a chore to watch because I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, and
this
we
was
hope
not.
by the end of like a yearly, we'll do these things over the course of a year. That we hope to have like a leaderboard of genuinely bad movies.
Yeah,
and a leaderboard of movies that they're panned, but they're worth watching. And speaking of the leaderboard, Gary, currently the leader in the clubhouse was Love Guru. That has now become the Citizen Kane.
That was five by default. The top of the leaderboard at the moment
because it was the first one we did.
Right.
Catwoman has now leaped above Love Guru.
Is it like number 1 through 15 is Catwoman, and then there's Love Guru?
Yeah, I'd say that's a very fair assessment. If in time we'll have a graphic and you'll see it, it'll be Catwoman, and then all the other movies we ever talk about.
What's your rating system on Catwoman going to be?
So this is a turd of all things, and I give this 5 turds. I'd give it more if we had a longer.
Right.
I mean, this is so bad. I'd give it 10.
Yeah.
10 poop emojis out of 5.
Yeah. Mine's 5 rolls of toilet paper for sure.
Yeah.
To go with your 5 turds.
Oh
but,
my God.
But yeah, I could give it more if we had a more. I think we limited it because we didn't want to get too crazy. And how do you know?
Right, where do you stop?
Yeah, right.
I mean, in theory, I would give this poop emoji with the infinity logo after it.
Right.
It'll never get better in my eyes, never. And I can't imagine what's going to be worse than this. I really can't. I mean, we're only a couple movies in, but I mean, I truly, and I mean, they're out there, I'm sure. But what's that movie about the guy, the really bad actor guy who did The Room or whatever?
Oh yeah, yeah, The Room. The actual movie, The Room, not the one that's talking about. Or
I think his movie might be. I mean, I would rather watch Plan 9 from Outer Space than watch Catwoman again.
I can guarantee you that The Room. While I think it has a cult following, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I get that.
That's not one that landed with me. So it's we'll put that on a list and we'll watch that sometime. But it's not watchable either.
So I mean, like, think about it. A notoriously bad movie that has probably the biggest cult following in the world is Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Mm-hmm. But that's watchable.
It's not a good
me.
It's not a good movie.
Yeah,
but it's entertaining,
mm-hmm.
especially if you can see it in a theater when they're doing all the dancing. But I mean, if you just sat and watched it, like, yeah, this movie's okay, I can get by it. The Catwoman is not.
No.
It makes you want to break your TV. It makes you want to pick up a book and say, I'm done. I'm done watching media.
Catwoman is the shock treatment of the Batman universe. Shock treatment was the follow-up from Rocky Horror. Remember?
I didn't know there was a sequel?
Yeah, we tried to watch it once. You probably don't remember. It's been a long time ago.
I've wiped that from my brain.
Or it was Kevin. It could have been Kevin. But unwatchable.
Now I want to watch Shock Treatment.
Dude, we'll put it on a list. I'll see if I can get through it.
Wow. All right, you ready to wrap this one up, Gary?
Yep. So
all right, so anybody, listen, if you got movie suggestions you think we should need to watch, send them. We'd be happy to send them. Take a watch of them.
Streams at flickflopspodcast.com.
Yeah.
Flick flops. Real easy to say.
That is a tongue twister.
You want to take us out, or you want me to take us out? How are we doing?
You can go ahead. I have this movie's so bad.
Do you need to take a nap?
I want to go brush my teeth. It made my teeth hurt. That's how bad this movie was.
All right, so that's a wrap on our review of Catwoman. As expected, this movie had its fair share of cringeworthy moments, but so for some reason my script says we found a few hidden gems, but I don't remember finding any
no.
hidden gems in this one. If you're a diehard Halle Berry fan, avoid this one. Just avoid it. There's just no reason to watch it. Watch your acceptance speech for the Razzie. It's more entertaining than this movie.
Listen, if you love Halle Berry, go watch Love Guru.
Yeah.
That's horrible, this movie. I'd rather you watch a bad Mike Myers movie. God almighty.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Flick Flops, and just join us next time as we tackle another critically bad film. See y'all. Poop emoji.